Observe what happens when absolute mechanical precision meets raw, uncontainable energy. This is a collision of football worlds. On one side of the pitch, Spain. They are the architects of modern football and control, a team that builds its identity around patience, rigid structure, and keeping the ball hostage. On the other side, Cape Verde. They are the wild cards of this tournament, a squad operating with absolute zero fear, driven by raw speed and a total absence of outside expectations. This match tests whether a deeply ingrained tactical framework can withstand an opponent that refuses to play by the rules. When you step onto the stage of a World Cup knockout match, the tactical board often gets thrown out. This is a live stress test, measuring how a structured favorite survives when an underdog introduces total chaos. Predicting this contest is difficult because of the complete blank slate between these two nations. There are no past rivalries, no historical data points, and no familiar patterns to rely on. For Spain, that unknown creates an intense burden. They step onto the grass carrying a massive legacy, expected by millions of demanding fans to dictate the match from the opening whistle. Cape Verde carries none of that weight. They are playing with absolute psychological freedom. They are not expected to win, which leaves them entirely free to attempt to knock out a giant. In tournament football, that lack of expectation is a severe advantage. A fearless team with absolutely nothing to lose often becomes the single most lethal entity on the entire pitch. Spain's plan to dismantle that threat resides in their midfield. This unit acts as the engine room, dictating every single phase of their game plan. The rhythm starts with Pedri. His job is to maintain extreme precision, calculating every angle to ensure the passing tempo never drops for a second. Behind him is Rodri, the physical anchor. He secures possession and waits for the exact moment to systematically slice through the opponent's defensive lines. This map reveals Spain's offensive setup. Red nodes cluster in the opponent's half, connected by a dense web of short passing lanes. This tight network methodically starves the opponent of the ball, forcing them backward into their own box. This strategy prioritizes the total erasure of the opponent's ability to even participate in the match. Cape Verde counters with a deeply disciplined defensive posture. This map shows their blue nodes packed tightly inside their own third, forming a compact wall. They stay coiled, waiting for a trigger. The moment Spain makes a mistake, the blue nodes launch a rapid, vertical sprint up the pitch, bypassing the high-positioned red defenders with raw speed before they can recover. They do not need 20 passes to build an attack. They only need one fraction of a second to capitalize on a slight miscalculation. Spain's aggressive control creates the exact vacuum Cape Verde needs to launch a lethal strike. On paper, Spain's roster depth, technical quality, and overall tournament pedigree make them the undeniable favorites. When the Spanish system functions as designed, it typically results in a clean 2-0 victory. But there is a nightmare scenario for the Spanish side. If Cape Verde survives the initial onslaught and the clock hits the 75th minute with a scoreless draw, the atmosphere changes. Time becomes an enemy for Spain. The longer the match stays level, the more anxiety builds, breeding the forced, chaotic mistakes Cape Verde has been hunting for all night. One side has the structure, the other has the momentum. The question is whether the giant system holds, or if a single explosive moment rewrites the story. Let me know who you're backing in the comments.